अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट। आइए तो चले हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं आज के इस वीडियो लेक्चर में। हम गैस पेपर 2021 तालीम सिटी गैस पेपर हम लोगों ने जमात में हम क्लास 8 के बनाया है। ठीक है, इसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए आप लोग सारे सब्जेक्टिव शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन हल हो जाएंगे। इसके अलावा आप लोगों के लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन जो अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्मार्ट सिलेबस हमने प्रिपेयर किए हैं वो भी आप लोगों के खुद ही सॉल्व हो जाएंगे। कौन कौन से आने हैं पेपर में वो भी मैं आप लोगों को इस वीडियो में बताता हूँ। ठीक है, तो इससे पहले कि आप लोगों ने अगर मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो सब्सक्राइब कर दें और वीडियो के साथ जुड़े। तो फर्स्ट वन क्वेश्चन है स्टूडेंट, डिफाइन एटॉमिक मास यूनिट व्हाई इट इज नीडेड। दूसरा है what is meant by the atomic mass. थर्ड वन है differentiate between the homoatomic and heteroatomic molecule with example। बहुत अहम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है। फाइव है what is the difference between the cation and anion। छठा है define free radical and give an example। सातवां है write down two difference between the molecule and molecular ion। आठवां क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट शॉर्ट what is meant by the triatomic and polyatomic molecule। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन। नवा है give three properties of the positive rays। आगे है क्वेश्चन नंबर 10, an element has the atomic number 17, how many electrons are present in the k l m shells of the atom। ये चैप्टर नंबर 2 के एमसीक्यू स्टूडेंट शुरू हो रहे हैं। आगे है 11 है what do you mean by the group and periods in the periodic table। ये थर्ड चैप्टर का एमसीक्यू है, शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है स्टूडेंट। 12 है why the size of the atom does not decrease regularly in the period। ये भी थर्ड चैप्टर क्वेश्चन है। 13 है what is meant by the atomic radius। 14 है describe at least two necessary conditions for the formation of a covalent bond। 15 है what is the difference between the polar and non-polar covalent bond, explain with the example। 16 है what is the relationship between the electronegativity and polarity। 17 है why are the densities of the gases lower than that of the liquid। लिक्विड की निस्बत गैसेस की डेंसिटी कम क्यों होती है। 18 what is the difference between the evaporation and condensation। next what is the difference between the evaporation and condensation। 19 what is meant by the evaporation, what is the effect of temperature on evaporation। 20 what is the reason for the difference between the solution, colloids and suspension। 21 what is meant by the colloid, give an example। 22 what is meant by the suspension, give an example। 23 what is the Tyndall effect, on what factor it depends। 24 what is the difference between the solution and colloid। 25 write the difference between the suspension and colloid। 26 write down two characteristics of the colloid। 27 what solution is used as the electrolyte in the Nelson cell। 28 how the electroplating on the steel carried out। ठीक है, 8वें चैप्टर से लिया गया है आप लोगों का। आगे है 29 why are silver and gold least reactive। 13 है can pure gold be used for making the ornamental, if not why। आगे 31 है why is the calcium more electropositive than magnesium। 32 है why is the ionization energy of sodium less than magnesium। 33 है write down the two chemical properties of halogen। ये था हमारे पास स्टूडेंट शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन। आगे भी शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है कि हमारे पास how does the homogeneous mixture different from the heterogeneous mixture। 7 है what is the relative atomic mass, how it is related to the gram। 8 है define empirical formula with an example। 9 है state the three reason why the air is mixture and water is a compound। 10 है state the reason soft drink is the mixture and water is a compound। 12 है what is the mean by the radical, write some example। 13 है define atomic mass unit। 14 है define empirical formula and molecular formula, write two difference between the compound and mixture। 15 है define valency and write an example। 18 है write empirical formula of the benzene and hydrogen peroxide। 19 है write the empirical formula of the glucose and benzene, define gram atom and gram molecule। write down the chemical formula of ammonium and sugar, what is meant by the Avogadro number, give 5 characteristics of the cathode rays, what are the defects of the other Rutherford atomic model. What is the plum pudding theory? How represented it? मतलब इस plum pudding theory क्या है और इसको किसने पेश किया? Write down two characteristics of the canal rays. Why positive rays are also called as the canal rays. Write down the three characteristics of neutron particle. 31. I write down the observation of Rutherford experiment. 32. I write down two postulates of the Bohr atomic model. Write down two differences between the Rutherford and Bohr atomic theory. What is meant by the quantum? What differentiate between the shell and subshell with each example. आगे है हमारे पास स्टूडेंट राइट द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम हाउ मेनी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कैन valence shell accommodate. Write the difference between the shell and subshell. Define electronic configuration. आगे है what is the difference between the Mendeleev product law and the modern product law. 59. Define Mendeleev product law. What is meant by the product function? Define New's law of octaves. What is meant by the transition element? Why are the element of 3 and 13 and 18 called p block element? Define modern product law. ठीक है स्टूडेंट, इस तरह से क्वेश्चन आएंगे आप लोगों को. What do you know about Dobrener triads? Write down two characteristics of the long form of the product table. Why do the element called as a p block element? Give the trend of the ionization energy in the period. बहुत अहम है. What is the shielding effect? बहुत अहम है. What is the trend of shielding effect in the period? Define ionization energy. बहुत अहम है. What is the trend of the atomic size and atomic radius in the period and group? Describe the trend of the ionization energy in the group. बहुत अहम है. What is meant by the fast ionization energy? ठीक है स्टूडेंट. तरह नेक्स्ट है what is meant by the second ionization energy? Why the second ionization energy is higher than first ionization energy? What is meant by the electron affinity? What is the trend of electron affinity in period? What is meant by the electron activity? What is the electron activity? Write two electron activity of chlorine. Write down the trend of electron activity in group. Atomic size increase from the top to bottom in the group. Why? The ionization energy of sodium is less than magnesium. Why? What is meant by the effective nuclear charge? आगे है write down the trend of the electron in the period. What is the ionic bond? How it is formed? Describe the polar covalent bond with the help of an example. Describe the non-polar covalent bond with the help of an example. What is meant by the coordinate covalent bond? Give an example. What is the metallic bond? How it is formed? इस तरह नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हमारे पास what is the difference between the donor and a acceptor? Write down the relation between the electronegativity and polarity in the covalent bond. And 92 why the polar covalent bond exists in water. Define bonding electrons. Why does ice float on the water? Define hydrogen bonding. Why the boiling point of water is greater than that alcohol? Explain the formation of coordinate covalent bond and in BF3 and NH3 ammonia. Again, next student, ionic compound are solid. Justify metals are the good conductor of electricity. Why? Give the characteristics property of the ionic compound. Write down two characteristics of the covalent compound. Write down three characteristics of the metal. What is the difference between the malleable and ductile? Write down two characteristics of the non-polar compound. What is the epoxy? Write its uses. Write down two characteristics of the coordinate covalent compound. ठीक है स्टूडेंट, बहुत अहम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है. इस तरह define ionic and covalent compound. इस तरह है what is the diffusion? Give an example. Define standard atmospheric pressure. What its unit? How it is to relate the Pascal. Define effusion. Give an example. Define pressure and its unit. Why does effusion take place more rapidly in gases than liquid? What is the difference between the effusion and the diffusion? स्टूडेंट, मैं वीडियो को रोल करता जाता हूँ आहिस्ता आहिस्ता से, आप लोग इसको देख लेना शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन को, क्योंकि वीडियो का टाइम फिर 10 मिनट से ज़्यादा हो जाएगा तो वीडियो को मैनेज करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है स्टूडेंट. ठीक है, समझ रहे हैं आप लोग मेरी बात? और आप लोगों को अगर कोई कन्फ्यूजन हो इन शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन के हवाले से तो आप लोग मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में कमेंट करके पूछ सकते हैं किसी भी शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन का जवाब. और लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन भी मैंने आप लोगों के लिए तरतीब दे रखे हैं, उसके बारे लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन. आप लोग इन लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन को तैयार करके अपने इम्तिहानात में बहुत अच्छी कामयाबी से जो है वो नंबर हासिल कर सकते हैं, जो बुध को होने जा रहा है. ठीक है स्टूडेंट, तो मैं उम्मीद करूंगा कि आप लोग बहुत अच्छे नंबर हासिल करेंगे. तो मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो के साथ स्टूडेंट, अपना ख्याल रखिए.